Good afternoon, dear students. Last class we learnt about the Himalayan ranges, especially the Greater Himalaya, or which we called as a Himadri. And also we learnt about some of the highest peaks of the Himalayas also. And also we learnt about the Himachal, or what we called the Lesser Himalayas also. Now, today's class we are going to learn about the outermost range of the Himalayas. The outermost range of the Himalayas. So, the outermost of the Himalayan ranges is called as Shivalik range. It's called as Shivalik range. Okay. See, they extended over a width of 10 to 15 kilometers. Width 10 to 15 kilometers. Okay. And have an altitude varying. The height of these ranges varying between 900 to 1100 meters. So the height altitude vary between 900 to 1100 meters. Getting this, students. So the height of these Shivalik ranges, it's varied 900 to 1100 meters, and the width of this Shivalik range is 10 to 50 kilometer. 10 to 50 kilometer. See, these ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments. So please keep it in your mind. So these Shivalik rains are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by rivers from especially the main Himalayan ranges located further north. Located further north. See, these valleys are covered with thick grave and alluvium. Thick grave and alluvium. So the longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks are known as dunes or dam. So what is the meaning of dune? What is the meaning of dune? No? So dunes. So it is actually the longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks. Once again, please. So, the longitudinal valley, understood. So, lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks. So, that's known as dew. So, for example, you all of you heard about one of the beautiful, the valley, the place that's about Dehradun. Dehradun. Okay. So, and also Kotli Dune and Potli Dune. So, these are some of the well-known dunes. So, Dehradun. So, I think you all of you knows about this Dehradun. Okay. And afterwards, Kotli Dune and Potli Dune. So these are some of the domes which are situated in this town. That means here actually these are the longitudinal valley. So lying between the Lesser Himalayas and the Shivalik range. Okay. See, besides the longitudinal divisions, besides the longitudinal divisions, the Himalayas have been divided on the basis of region from west to east also. From west to east. So please keep it in your mind. So, besides the longitudinal divisions, the Himalayas have been divided on the basis of regions from west to east also. And these divisions have been demarcated by. So, these, whatever the divisions, okay, so these have been demarcated by river valleys. Demarcated by river valleys. Example, the part of Himalayas lying between Indus and Satluj. The part of Himalayas lying between Indus and Satluj. The part of the Himalayas lying between Indus and Satluj has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalaya. Understood now? So this is known as Punjab Himalaya. Okay. See, but it is also known regionally as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya from west to east respectively. Is also known regionally Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya. Okay, so here it is about west to east respectively. So it is known as the areas understood. So it is known as whatever it may be the part of the Himalayas lying between the Indus and Satluj. It has been traditionally known as the Punjab Himalaya, but it is also known as what we call regionally as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya from west to east respectively. See, the part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali rivers. The part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali river. The part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali rivers. So this is known as Kumaon Himalayas. This is as known as Kumaon Himalayas. Getting now. So the part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali river or Kali river is known as Kumaon Himalayas. See, the Kali and Tista rivers demarcate the Nepal Himalayas. The Kali and Tista rivers demarcate the Nepal Himalayas and the part lying between Tista and Dihang rivers. The part of the Himalayas lying between Tista and Dihang rivers is known as Assam Himalayas. So, like that, dear students, there are regional names also in these broad categories. Understood now? So, like this, so there are regional names that also in these broad categories. So, let us find out some of the yourself regional names of the Himalayas. So, the areas lying between the different rivers, I mean the part of the Himalayas lying between the different rivers, so those areas are so regionally called in a different names. For example, the part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali, that is called as Kumaon Himalayas, and the part of the Himalayas lying between Indus and Satluj that is called as the Punjab Himalaya, and the same the Kashmir and Himalaya, sorry, Himachal Himalayas, so west to east in respectively, and also dear students, the Kali and the Tista rivers. Understood now? The Kali and Tista rivers demarcate the Nepal Himalayas, and also the Tista and Dihang rivers is known as Assam Himalayas. So like that, there are so many regional names also in these broad categories. Now, let us discuss about the Brahmaputra and how the Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. So the Brahmaputra, it is one of the major river which flows in the northern part of our country. So that marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. So behind the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along eastern boundary of India. Getting now? So behind the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India. So they are known as the Purvanchal or Purvachal, or even this Purvachal, it is also called as Eastern Hills and Mountains. Eastern Hills and Mountains. Purvachal are also called as Eastern Hills and Mountains. So for which area we used to call as a Purvachal or Eastern Hills or Mountains? So the Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas, then afterwards behind the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of the India. Understood now? So that area is known as Purvachal or the eastern hills and mountains. See, these hills are running through the northeastern states. So these hills, so running through the the northeastern states, so such are mostly composed of strong sandstones, especially which are sedimentary rocks. So getting dear students, so these hills are running through the northeastern states. So these northeastern states are mostly composed of strong sandstones, so especially which are sedimentary rocks. See, covered with dense forests. So these hills and mountains, so the Purvachal mountains, so covered with dense forest, thickest forest, they mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. They mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. See, dear students, the Purvachal comprises the Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, and Manipur Hills, and also Mizo Hills. So this Purvachal, what we call the eastern hills and mountains, so comprises of Patkai Hills, okay, so Patkai Hills, Naga Hills, Manipuri Hills, and Mizo Hills. So these areas, I mean the Purvachal or the eastern hills and mountains comprises of these all hills. Patkai Hills, Naga Hills and Manipuri Hills, and also it comprises of Mizo Hills. So this is about a short description about the Himalayan mountain ranges. Understood now? So regarding this, if you have any doubts, so please you can call me and then clear your doubts. So please keep it in your mind. The Himalayan ranges, it is actually there we can see in the three, the broader way, especially which we have studied as the greater Himalaya, which we called as what we call the Shivalik range. Understood now? And the greater Himalaya, and afterwards the Shivalik range, and also the middle one, Himadri, Greater Himalaya, and Shivaliks. And also it is divided on the basis of regions also. Already what we studied, that is about the different regional names, those Himalayas also called. And we learnt about the Purvachal or the eastern hills and mountains also, which are comprised with these the different hills, Patkai, Naga and Manipuri and Mizo hills. I hope dear students, if you go through the text read, so you are able to understand more, and then only it is clear for you. Okay, so it's my kind request, read textbook carefully, and even though if you are not understanding any about this topic, so please let me know and feel free to call and clear your doubt. Okay, now let us discuss about the another one major key feature of physical key feature of our subcontinent, that is about the northern plains. The northern plains. See, the northern plain has been formed by the interplay of three major river systems. It's formed actually, it has been formed by the interplay of three major river systems. Three major river systems. Okay. So please keep it in your mind. The northern plains has been formed. It has been formed by the interplay of the three major river systems. The three major river systems. So we all of you knows that maybe you can guess also those three river systems. Those three river systems. So such as the Indus, the Ganga, and anybody can you guess? The Indus, the Ganga, and the another one major river just now we studied, that is about the Brahmaputra. See, the northern plains, it has been formed. It has been formed by the interplay of these three major river systems: the river Indus, the river Ganga, and the river Brahmaputra. See, not only these, along with their tributaries also. Along with all these three major rivers, tributaries also. Got it now? See, this plain is formed of alluvial soil. This plain is formed of alluvial soil. So the deposition of alluvium in a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalayas over billions of years. Getting no dear students. So this plain is formed of alluvial soil, the deposition of alluvium in a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalayas over millions of years. Over millions of years. So that is formed this fertile plain. It's about the process of over millions of years that formed this fertile plain. See, it spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometers. The northern plain is spread over 7 lakh square kilometers. Getting now? So, the spread of this northern plain, the area of the northern plain is about 7 lakh square kilometers. The plain being about 2400 kilometer long, 2400 kilometer long and 240 to 320 kilometer broad. 240 to 320 kilometer broad. So just we can imagine dear students. So the northern plain, it has been formed by the interplay of these three major river systems such as the river Indus, the river Ganga and the river Brahmaputra, and it's with the tributaries or tributaries. So the northern plains, it's actually formed with the alluvial soil, the deposition of alluvium in a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalayas over millions of years formed this fertile plain, and it spreads over an 2400 kilometer long and 240 to 320 kilometer broad. See, it's a densely populated physiographic division in our subcontinent and as well as in the world also. So the northern plain is a densely populated physiographic region, physiographic division. So with a rich soil cover combined with adequate water, supply of favorable climate, and even it is very much suitable for agriculture, and as well as so it is one of the a very important agricultural product area of our subcontinent also. So about northern plains we are going to learn some of the other interesting things in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.